Welcome back everyone to the Hello World Guide. This is the fifth episode of the C++ for Absolute Beginner series, and in this video we are going to learn how variables work. So up to this point all we have done is we have basically kind of put in whatever we want as a hard coded value. Now one thing that we can do is what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to remove all of this until we have only got like a slash n in a single character inside of like single quotes here, and you can see that Visual Studio automatically tries to like fill my quotes when I type one of them, and that's because it's an IDE and it's try to make your work easier. And I'm going to put here like some number like 52. Now I don't need to put this as a string because common output can also output numbers directly, so I can just say 52, and if I go and hit start, what you should see is that we do get 52 onto the screen. And let's see that, and you can see we do. Alright, so but what happens if I make it a string and then type in 52? Well, for most of the part we get almost the same result. You can see it still stays 52, but if I go ahead and 52 and I go ahead and say plus and I say something like 18, this should say 70, but let's see what it does. But this stays 52 plus 18 because this is a string, which is a piece of text which does not carry any importance, any meaning. But if I remove this and quotes, then this is an actual piece of C++ code which is going to be executed by the compiler, and it's going to like be now like it's actually going to add these two together. So you can see that C++ can basically do math pretty easily. Now as far as math is concerned, there are kind of different kinds of operators in here. So if I just showed you how plus works, and you can see it works perfectly. But if I go ahead and say something like minus, then you can see that that should work as well. And if you want to like multiply, you can put the star in here, star like that, one star only, and if you do that, that would work like expected. I should multiply this. And if you want to like divide, then what you should do is you can just add a slash, and if you do that, it will divide the thing, but it will only divide it as a whole number. It won't divide it as in like, it won't give the answer in decimal, but we'll get to that later when we study floats and stuff. So for now you don't need to worry about getting that. If you want to get the remainder, then you can choose the percent sign, which is known as a modulus operator, and it should give you what the remainder is. So this remainder is 16, and if I divide, then I get 2 as the main result, and like 16 as the remainder. But if I actually go ahead and make this kind of like a completely divided value, then you can see it says 3. So yeah, it will only give an answer in whole number because our initial value is a whole number. So but let's actually discuss how doubles work. So if one of the value, don't need to make this both, if one of the value is a not a whole number but it's something like 18.0 instead of just 18, then what happens is that it well, for now it does output 3, but if we put something else here like 5653, let's say, then it will give the answer not as a whole number but in like points, and it will give like decimal as well. But if we have not got 18.0 in here, then it will only give this as a whole number, which means it will be truncated. But if I go ahead and say 18.0, then it gives the answer like how a real calculator would. So yeah, that's pretty cool. But what we have done so far is just based on numbers that we have put it directly. But what exists in C++ is a special thing called variables. Now that exists in every language, not only C++, but the main idea with variables is that basically you've got currently this is a constant value, which means it cannot be, this 5653 is a constant value which cannot be changed during the program's execution, not execution. But if you go up here and you create a variable, then that reserves a space in the computer's RAM, which you can obviously change, and you can change that to whatever you like as the program goes along. You can get the value from the user, you can like increase it or decrease it, and you can do practically whatever you want. So in order to create a variable, there are basically, what you do is you put the type of the variable. So you put the type of the variable. So each variable in C++ has a fixed type because C++ is a fixed type programming language. It's not like a loosely typed programming language, so you need to specify what kind of variable is, which determines the amount of space reserved and what kind of data you are gonna put in them in that. And if it's a number, you put I and T, which stands for integer, and you just say integer. And the next thing you need to put is a variable name, which we can actually just put something like x here. And you can actually just put a semicolon, because this is a statement. You need to end it with a semicolon, a declaration. And if you do that, then that creates the variable. But this variable currently has no value. It may have junk in it, it may be 0. So we need to kind of set this to a value. For that, you need to just put the equal sign, and you can put whatever value you like. And if I go in here, and I can actually use x, and this x is now being used as a variable, and whatever value we put in here is going to be the value of the x. So if I say x and I hit play, not play, just execute, then you can see it says 0. Now if I change this x to like something else, 6540, then you can see it says 6540. And this is the real reason you use variables is obviously because you can change them. So I can do cout, and then I can basically go ahead and do like this cout look thing. I can do it again. I can basically copy this by pressing Ctrl C and go down here and paste it. So what we can do is we can go up here and we can change the value. Now if you have created a variable already, you need, in order to change the value, you can just type the name of the variable and set equal, and you can put whatever value you want, like 856, let's say. And if I do that, you can see it says 6540, then it says 856, because first it displays this value, then we change the value, and even though it's displaying x, now x is different than it was before. And one thing you can do is you can actually put x, and then you can say plus and 856, and that should add 856 to the x. Yeah, you can see that that's how it works. So yeah, this was pretty much it for this video. In this video we learned about how variables and stuff work. So in the next video, what we are going to do is we are going to learn how to kind of take input from the users, then put that input from the variable, and do a bunch of other cool stuff, and then we'll go on to learn about strings. So make sure to stay tuned for that, and share this video with as many people as you can, and I will see you in the next video, and like and subscribe, and bye.